You're mad at me.
Look at this, a 2-for-1 sale at Macy's. I'm not mad.
I don't believe you.
Well, it's not every day that a guy's wife accuses his brother of poisoning her.
I'm sorry that Jonathan got you involved. I didn't want him to tell you.
Pretty serious charges, Greenlee. I'm glad he said something, but I would have rather heard it from you.
I didn't want to say anything until I had evidence.
So you broke into his apartment and his computer.
If I got proof, would you consider the possibility?
You know what? It's been a long day.
We need to discuss this.
There's nothing to discuss. Jonathan didn't drug you. You've had some run-ins with Jonathan, and you're really focused on trying to figure out who drugged you. Jonathan is a quick fix, mystery solved.
You really think that I want your brother to be guilty?
I think you want answers, and so do I. But Greenlee, you don't know Jonathan the way I do. Okay, you grow up in that kind of environment, you get to know somebody inside and out. You have to survive, and that's what we did.
You got out a lot earlier. Jonathan was alone with your stepfather for a really long time.
Point?
You said Jonathan won't even discuss what happened after you left. So you don't know what your father did to him. You don't know what damage was done.
Look, I know that it wasn't easy for Jonathan after I left. My stepdad was, he was a master at inflicting damage. My older brother Braden is proof of that.
I'm sorry.
Patrick was a piece of work. You know, he always let us know when we disappointed him, what failures we were, and when we tried to prove that we weren't. When we tried to prove that we could be loved. That's when the strap came out to prove us wrong. My stepdad destroyed Braden, but not Jonathan. Okay, Huckett's like me. He knew that he had to fight back to save his soul, and that's exactly what he did. And Jonathan has issues. So do I. It's the Lavery baggage.
It's not the same.
Whoever drugged you, it's not about issues, Greenlee. That's evil. And it's not Jonathan. But just because I'm trying to wave you off of Jonathan, it doesn't mean that I'm going to bail on figuring out who drugged you. In fact, I've already got a lead.
You've got something?
Yeah.
What?
A woman that works for Zach Slater.
A showgirl from his casino doped me up.
Well, apparently she's responsible for all of his dirty work. I mean, it could be the same person that shot me, that shot at us, that tried to drug David.
Zach Slater wanted David dead?
Well, more like incapacitated, according to Bobby Warner.
Bobby Warner's your source? You don't believe him.
Well, Edmund seems to think it was enough to put Slater away.
Bobby was ready to sleep with me for money. Not much of a stretch to think that he'd lie for cash or less. Besides, someone doped me over time. They'd have to have access to me daily, and I think I'd notice a hit woman hanging around.
No, you see, professionals know how to be invisible, how to gain access to a target without being seen.
Maybe.
Cheers.
Is this the wine that Jonathan gave us for New Year's?
Yeah, it's my favorite. Even got the vintage right. Greenlee, my brother didn't poison the wine.
You sure?
You don't trust him. You don't like him. I get that. But he has done nothing to hurt you.
Jonathan hates me, and he wants me out of the way, and you can't see it, Ryan. You don't want to because he's your brother.
Because he didn't do it.
If you just help me find out for
Stop,
sure.
Rylee, stop. You're not going to do this. You're not going to turn me against my brother.
I don't like Jonathan, but I'm not trying to turn you against him just because he gives me the creeps. Sorry. Look. Someone tried to turn my brain to mush, and I'm just trying to figure out who. I want to feel safe again. I want you to feel safe again. I want us to have our lives back, and we can't do that until we fix this.
I shouldn't have gone off on you. I promise that we'll find the truth, that we'll get our lives back.
And we can work on that addition to our family.
I love you.
I love you.
And I trust you. Absolutely. And the only other person that I trust 100% is Jonathan.
He's lucky to have you for a brother.
Well, it's mutual. When we found the prescription bottles in Kendall's condo, I was sure that she did it, and you were convinced that she didn't do it. I let it go. Not because I trust Kendall, but because I trust you. Well, now I'm asking you to trust me about my brother. Can you do that for me?
Trust isn't one of my best events. Burned too many times until you and my father, the only two people on the planet that I trust. Absolutely, positively, all the way, I trust you. If you want me to take your word that Jonathan didn't drug me, consider it taken.
I promise you that you're safe and that no one will ever hurt you again. I'm gonna make sure of that.